Okay. Welcome. It's been a minute. It has been a minute to live. It has been a minute for me and for you, us being together with Live at 5. Today, I am here with someone who is very near and dear to my heart. She's one of my great aunts, and she was the second interview that I wanted to do in February when the theme was overcoming adversity. So we are getting caught up, and I'm not even pressed about it. I am excited to finally be here and able to interview her. And the topic again is overcoming adversity. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for your patience. For those of you who have been anticipating and looking for the next broadcast, here it is. This is my Aunt Annette, who has been near and dear to my heart. Like I said, for forever. She's been in the family way longer than I have. And so I thought about interviewing her because of some of the many conversations that we have had over the years and the things that she has shared with me. And my aunt she is awesome and phenomenal to me. She is old school. Do you mind sharing your age?
84.
84 years old. And the beauty of 84 is she is 84 and in her prime, right? She's not, 84 and barely making it. She is 84 and still like fully in her prime. When my cousins and I need answers to questions about canning, we call her. When we need questions, when we need answers to canning or anything of that nature, we call her. When I need to get access to some hominy corn, I let her know, listen, I need some hominy corn. So last year I was like, I need hominy corn. She found me some hominy corn. For those of you who don't know what it is, I'm not going to take the time to explain, but it's some good down south eating. There we go, right?
Very good.
Very good. I'm going to tell you something else that I learned from this woman. we, the whole family was gathered in Cincinnati for, I believe it was maybe a funeral. No, no, no. It was a family reunion, And the older members were sitting around talking, the ones who had lived in Alabama. And so this is one of the ones who I've grown up listening to talk about Alabama. So a couple of years ago when we took Aunt Martha back, it was a truly it was an awesome experience for me. Being in Alabama for me had a greater impact on me than when years prior I had the opportunity to visit Africa. I always thought that I would be so emotional because like I'm back in the motherland that we were stripped from. And it did have a powerful impact on me, but it did not impact me in the way that I thought it would. Alabama did that. And what I realized is Africa was discovery for me. I'd never been there before. I hadn't even grown up with people who had lived there or visited there. I just knew that that's where we descended from. But Alabama, all of my life, I had grown up hearing stories about my family members who had picked cotton in the cotton fields of Alabama. I had heard about the discrimination that they had experienced, the hardship that they had experienced, the farm life that they had experienced, and all of the other things, the church life that came with it. So to be there and to see a cotton field in person for the first time was absolutely phenomenal. Like I video recorded everything. I need to get some of those video recordings to to Aunt Martha's children too, because I was interviewing her about it. Because it was her home.
Yeah.
So being able to be in a service at the church where my great grandmother, her mother-in-law, attended, and people are still talking about her legacy today. It was
Sunday school teacher.
She was a Sunday school teacher. Okay, it was phenomenal. So Alabama had a profound impact on me, and part of the reason is because of people like my aunt here. And one of the things that I want you to start out with, so I say overcoming adversity. She says to me, you mean trouble? Yes. overcoming trouble and hard times. So we've talked a lot and you've shared a lot as we've sat outside in the spring and the summer and looked at your beautiful yard and garden and just enjoyed the beauty of nature and one another's company. One story in particular, though, stands out to me. You've had a lot of things in your life that you have had to overcome, going all the way back to your childhood.
That's right.
Yes. So I remember though, and I never forgot it because I always thought that my taste in furniture is kind of a combination of definitely my mom's influence, my Aunt Paula's influence, and your influence, right? Because that whole Victorian style thing.
Yes.
Yeah. And like you guys, well, they don't go buy new furniture, they buy
Old
old furniture and have it reupholstered. So
We do the whole thing.
absolutely.
Strip it
And it is
down.
gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I strip it down right. That's what I didn't think to do with my furniture. And I was like, when I had it reupholstered, I was like, well, forget it. We're just going to say that the scuff marks are character. You know, scuff marks in the wood, like, because we're not.
Make it look old.
There we go. Yeah, we're going to leave it at that. But I remember you telling me that years ago, you were going through some painful periods in your life, or a painful period in your life, and you poured yourself into your home and into beautifying your home. And I remember the artwork that you would create and put on the walls, right? And just the beauty of your home. And you said that you had a friend who came by and who shared with you what her mother, who was with her, observed about you. I want you to take a moment and to share that.
Well, she was with her mother-in-law, and I had flowers in every room, plants, and they were running up the walls and across the ceiling and just everywhere. And my friend brought her mother-in-law by one day, and on her way home, she was telling her mother-in-law about how happy I was with my plants and how beautiful they were. And she said her mother-in-law said to her, but she's not happy. I don't know what she saw or what she was thinking, but I showed her all my beautiful flowers and all the furniture I had stripped down and refurbished, and we just had a good time. And but she saw something in me. She saw something was missing. I knew something was missing, a boy, but I was trying to cover it up. I tried putting all my time, I just put all of my time in with my plants and my house. And it helped me to forget about trouble. Even though I was having trouble and but I didn't know it was affecting me so bad. So when I turned to plants, it seems like I didn't think about the trouble too much anymore. I put all of my time in with my plants, and they was going up the walls in every which way. And when she told me what her mother-in-law said, I couldn't deny it. So I was thinking I was okay. Couldn't nobody tell that I was going through anything. So, and after she said what she did, I knew then that I had to turn to God totally. And all the things that was bothering me, I had to give it to him. And I realized no matter what I do, he can't give me peace like I can get out of a flower, a house, or nothing else. Only God gave me the peace that I needed. Yeah.
Gotcha. So you had, in other words, turned some things over to God, but you hadn't fully
Turned it over to him. You got to give it all to him. Give it to him. You think sometimes you don't give it to him, but you haven't. You're still trying to hold on to it and straighten things out yourself, but you can't do it.
Mhm. Mhm.
And he don't take half of your troubles. He want it all. So when I gave him all of it, he straightened it out. And ever since then, I always think when trouble comes, I go to God. I still love my flowers though. I love my plants. I love decorating my house.
Yes.
But I know now to not put my total self into that.
Mhm.
Because God
Mhm.
can take care whatever is bothering me or whatever's going on. You just give it to him. Give it up and let him have it.
Mhm.
That's what he asks us to do.
Mhm.
But so many times we won't do it. We
Right.
think we can fix things. We can't fix nothing, not even ourselves.
You're preaching.
But when trouble comes, a lot of time we don't realize that. Give it to God. When I lost my son, that was the hurtingest thing ever in my lifetime that happened to me. And I had to give it to God. And everybody was worried about me because they knew I was so crazy about my firstborn. And the family knew. So they was worried that I probably would lose my mind. But they don't know. God had showed me ahead of time. And when it happened, I just gave it to him. I couldn't do nothing about it. My baby was gone. So I told them, don't worry about me. I'm okay. Check on your brother. And he was the one suffering more than I was from
Their
that.
brother. So these were my aunts, your
Your
sisters
aunt
in
and
law,
my sister-in-laws.
and their brother was your
And
husband, my
yes,
uncle.
that's
Yes.
right. And
Hmm.
they was worried that I was probably lose my mind or something. But I had to give it to God. Don't I would have. And he just eased, made me ease down. I was I was comfortable. I met a old classmate of mine from years ago, and she saw me, and I was so glad to see her, and I was just laughing. And this was right after my son passed, and she told me, "My, you look happy." I was happy to see her. I hadn't seen her in so long,
Hmm.
and and on my way home, I was thinking, why did she say that I look happy? But when you know God and you know the anything you can't handle, you give it to Him, you will be happy. You won't be so weighted down and worrying and carrying on. Just let Him have it. He asks us to give it to Him. But so many times when we get in trouble, we forget to give it to Him, totally give it to Him. Got to give it up.
So there are a couple of things that stand out to me about what you're saying. And then there is another situation that I'm thinking about that I want you to share a little bit about because I think it's very telling. The first thing is that even though it took your friend telling you what her mother-in-law said, there was something that that woman had been through and
Uh,
experienced in life herself.
she had.
She had.
Mhm.
Okay. So when she saw someone in a place that she where she had once resided, she recognized
She
it.
recognized.
Okay. Then I'm going to save my other observation until a little bit later and I'm going to move in the direction with this. Because now let's fast forward. Now listen, I don't know if you remember her name, but if you do, I don't want you to say it
No.
because any people might be watching who might
Yes.
know. Okay.
Yes.
Fast forward years later, I came home with a friend of mine. You and I were sitting on your back patio,
I remember.
admiring your yard,
Mhm.
and my friend came around the corner. And I remember you ended up basically ministering to her. You
Yes.
gave her some good old fashioned
Advice.
and wisdom, right?
Mhm.
Because she was in a painful place in her life.
But I didn't know that, but I knew something was wrong.
But do you remember what you said? I don't know if you remember what you said you thought when she rounded that corner. Do you remember what you said you saw? when she rounded that corner?
I don't remember.
Well, let me tell you, ma'am, because I
Okay,
remember.
What was it? What was it?
You said when she rounded that corner of the house and came to join you and me, and you looked at her, that was your first time seeing her. You said you saw a woman who had forgotten about herself. And I was like, well, you didn't know what she was going through.
No.
I did, because she was my friend. You had no idea the painful place that she was in her life. You just knew that the way she showed up when she rounded that corner, because of
You could see it.
Yes. Now that's what I see as so powerful, is when you've been through adversity. And now I'm talking to
You
those.
know it when you see it in another person, because you've been there. And now I can tell young women, anybody, when they're in trouble, I can tell them exactly what to do. You have to give it up. You can't solve all these problems that you have. You got to give it to God.
So let me interject something here. One of the examples that she one of the examples that she used to illustrate the behavior of my friend at the time, who was going through some pretty emotionally dramatic things for her. My aunt told her, and again, this is an Alabama reference, she grew up on a farm, so they had, we would just call it cow dung,
Cow poop.
boo-boo, right? They call them cow patties, right?
We didn't.
What'd you call it?
Cow poop.
But what about when it was crusted over?
Didn't matter. It was still cow poop.
Okay, well, there you go. Cow poop. So the illustration that she gave my friend, when my friend was having a hard time with something and she was having a hard time letting go, and she kept going back to that thing, my aunt told her about this cow dung, that when it sat there for a while, it would get hard on the outside.
The sun would dry it out the top.
Hold on. Uh-oh. Okay. I don't know if this paused or not, but I'm going to repeat what was just said. She said when the cow dung sat outside for a while, the sun would dry the outer layer of it and it would become hard. And she said if you took a stick to it, now you tell the rest of it, what would happen?
You dig down in there, it's still soft and mushy up under there.
And stinky.
And stinky. It don't stop stinking.
Mm-hmm.
But a crust will come over from the hot sun on top of it. But if you dig in it, it's still cow poop and it's still soft and it still stinks.
Mm-hmm.
Now my grandmother gave me that. She told me. Mm-hmm. But I was young and I would see the cow poop. I would see the
hard
get hard on the top. And I could see where it would get soft in the middle, because we would take sticks and play in it. And she said, be careful. Everything that looks good on the top is not good. But when you dig down in there, it's still cow poop. It's still soft and it still stinks. Mm-hmm. But it's just a shell on the top. Just the hard place on the top. Mm-hmm. But it's still stinky, soft, mushy down in that, under that shell.
Mm-hmm. So when my friend was going through an adverse situation, a troublesome situation in her life, what she was doing, because of having trouble letting go and stepping away and focusing on herself the way that she needed to, was equivalent to the illustration that my aunt shared. She was taking that stick and she was poking at that cow poop that was stirring it. And so the stink was coming up and the mess on the inside was still there. And she was still dealing with stuff that she needed to leave alone. Right?
Let it go.
Right. But it took the wisdom of an elder to speak. I remember my friend was so blessed. To this day, she remembers that time that she shared with my aunt and what my aunt spoke into her life. The wisdom of an elder, or of anyone who has been through something and made it through. Recently, because I like flowers too. Mm-hmm. I do. I bought a little flower pot that says, grow through what you go through. Mm-hmm. Grow through what you go through. So my next question is this: what is wrong with us today? Because so many of us today seem to have a problem growing through what we go through, right? Or even making it through successfully. We hear about so many tragic choices that people make
Yes.
because they've gone through something painful and didn't make it through, right? Or we hear about people, we just hear all sorts of things that do not speak to the kind of strength that you're talking about.
We try to solve our own problems.
Okay.
We can't do it. I have gone up against some things and I thought I could solve it. I could take care of it. I'm strong. I can do this. I can do. We can't do nothing by ourselves without God. And if you start out trying and you're not taking Him with you in whatever you're going up against, if you're going up against by yourself, you might as well just stop because you're not going anyplace. You got to put God in front of you and let Him lead you, and He'll lead you the right way, tell you what to do, right thing to do. He gonna tell you nothing wrong, but the devil will. The devil will put all kind of wrong things in our head. But if we don't go to God, nothing gonna work.
So she's driving home, and we're not going to go into details about the things that she's been through. I feel like we need to turn it. Whoops. To get it a little more balanced. There we go. We're not going to go into detail about all of the things that she's been through. But again, the reason that she crossed my mind as someone to interview when I wanted to talk about coming adversity or hardship or trouble is because of the things that she has shared with me when she and I have just sat out one-on-one and talked. The wisdom that she shares with her nieces, her great nieces, and the family from her life experiences. If when we go through something, it creates a sense and we make it through. When we grow through what we go through, it creates a sensitivity in us and a discernment in us where we're able to identify something in someone else that we would not have otherwise been able to identify if we hadn't been through it ourselves and grown through it, right? So when in growing through it, then there's a strength that comes, there's a resiliency that comes that allows you to then show up for someone else in a way that you would not be able to show up if you had not grown through that circumstance. The other thing that stands out to me is even in realizing that you needed to turn everything over to God.
Sometimes things can happen in your life that will be right in front of you, look like it's talking to you, telling you, give it to God, give it to God. But we try to hold on. We try to solve things ourselves. We can't. Some things we can't solve. Maybe some we can, but when you see that you can't solve this problem, give it to God and mean it from your heart.
So
let's trust Him.
How do you do that? For somebody who's watching this and they're saying, okay, that sounds really great, but I have no idea how to give things to God. What does that mean?
You talk to God. And it's got to be in your mind and in your tongue. When you talk to Him like you talking to another person. Because I told God when I was up against something one time, I said, Lord, I can't handle this. It's nothing. I can't do nothing about this. Only you. And I'm giving it to you. And then everything started working out. And I meant what I said. You can't fool God. You got to trust Him. When you talk to Him in your private life, where when you're to yourself and you just you and God talking, And I learned to talk to him like I could talk to a human being. I've never seen him, but I felt him. And I just sit and talk and tell him about different things. And every time it works out. But when I try to handle it myself, it don't work out. He know what's going on. Just talk to him. You don't have to use big words. You just, sometimes I will say, now, Lord, there's nothing I can do with this. You take it. And if you mean it from your heart, whatever that is you're struggling with, it'll just start, everything will start coming into place like a puzzle. It'll start coming into place. And you know in your mind, couldn't nobody have done that but a God. Man couldn't do it. Only God can do it. So that's how you experience with God. You trust him. You put all your trust in him. As the song said, put all your trust in him. Not part of it, not half of it, all of it.
You want to sing a little bit of that?
I don't know it real well. I don't know it good enough to sing it.
Okay.
Okay. But there is a song that says, put all your trust in God. And it's true. It takes a while sometimes to learn it. When you get through with all these knocks and bruises and big knots on your head from not doing it. And once you learn that you can do it and he'll do something about it, you have a happier life.
The other beauty that I see is that you were given a gift of having hobbies and interests and talents, natural skills that allowed you to focus on something other than what you were going through. It was your plants. It was the beautification of your home. I remember when you used to paint ceramics.
Yeah, I took ceramic class.
I remember. And my grandma did too. I still have a little girl with like a little skunk, and she's sitting in like this flower, a bed of flowers that my grandma painted and gave me. I still have that. So
I took ceramic, and I took a couple classes on uh, how to make Christmas decoration, how to do my wreaths and stuff. Just, I think I took one class on that. I already was doing it, but I needed a little more knowledge of how to get started, where you started and everything. Your starting points, you got to have starting points when you're making something for decoration. You get a picture in your head and you go from there. But that comes from God because He the one give you that knowledge.
The master creator.
Yeah.
He's creativity.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so the reason I wanted to bring up the outlet that she found when she was going through troublesome times, the outlet that she found in her plants, in home decorating, in painting ceramics and things of that nature, is that it allowed her to get her mind off of the negative narrative of what she was going through. Sometimes the things that we go through can feel overwhelming and impossible to overcome because there is a narrative that we play over and over and over and over and over in our minds. And when our minds are consumed with that, then it becomes difficult to overcome that because we're giving power to that thing. But she, in essence, took the power away. And in taking the power away, it was brought to her attention that there was a little bit more that she needed to do, not just find a hobby, a task, an interest to take her mind off of her current situation, but to truly release everything out of her own will and ability into God. So I encourage you to dig deeply within yourself, especially those of you who are going through something right now, or those of you who have been through something and who, as you look at it, you know, I didn't weather that well. I didn't bounce back well. I wasn't resilient. Today is a new day, and tomorrow is another opportunity to grow through what you've been through, right? And so the value of that is, just like her friend's mother-in-law had been through something that caused her to recognize another woman who was going through something. And then because of what my great aunt has been through in her life, it allowed her to recognize another woman in her life who showed up, who she didn't even know and was meeting for the first time as well. She was able to recognize that that woman was going through something. And again, her words were, I saw a woman, when that woman rounded that corner, I saw a woman who had forgotten about herself. That was so powerful. When we make it through, then we have the ability to help someone else make it through. So we've got to make it through. The ability is in you, no matter what you're going through, no matter how difficult it is. The ability is within you to make it through, to grow through what you go through. Now, before we end, I am going to allow my aunt to have the last word. And then, with her permission, I want to show you some of her plants in her house.
Good.
Okay, thank you. So
Well,
that
I
means
have
when you
nothing
finish
else.
talking,
Mhm.
then I need for you to turn that light on in the living room too.
Okay.
I'm gonna show them the ones in here, and then we're gonna go and show the big ones in the living room. Okay. Okay.
And in the garage.
And in the garage, because the ones that she has in the garage, she actually puts out in her yard in the summertime. Okay, go.
If you're a young woman, old woman, whatever, man, same thing. If you're a person that have problems, and a lot of time we can't solve them on our own. Most time we can't. Especially there come a time you can go up against something and it's just like a brick wall, and you don't know which way to turn. And I learned at first I didn't know I could. I know I could, but I didn't do it. Try to solve them myself. But I found out I can't solve problems. I have to go to God. Little everyday things, you can solve that. But there are some things that will come up in your life that only God can help you. Man can't. Only God. The doctor can't. The lawyer can't. Nobody can. Put your trust in God and He will see you through. And you'll come out on the best end, happy, like I am now.
Hey, 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 hey. Okay, I want you to go turn the lights on. I'm gonna wrap things up here and start showing you. Well, no, don't go too far because I need for you to tell me what these are.
I don't know what half of them is myself.
You don't. How do you know how to care for them if you don't know what they are?
When I buy one, I see something I want, I get. I read the directions.
There you go.
And it'll tell you how to take care of it.
You see,
it's just like a Bible.
mm-hmm.
You read your Bible,
Mm-hmm.
it'll tell you how to trust
there
God
you go. Okay.
and do everything else.
Okay.
Everything in there.
Gotcha.
So whenever I buy a plant, and it's always a little card or something on that plant.
Mm-hmm.
Read what it say.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go by what it say, which is simple,
mm-hmm. then the plant will be all
then
right.
the plants, I have to cut mine off. I'm restarting, or I restart,
Mm-hmm.
and I give them to other people.
Yes, you do.
If I would keep everything that I restart, I wouldn't be able to walk in my own house.
You wouldn't have space. You would, or your yard, or your yard. Okay, so we have enjoyed being with you again. I do want to say, I know that everyone out there watching does not have a relationship with God the way that my aunt does. What I want to say, here's a strong takeaway, regardless of what your belief system is. Recognizing that you do not have in you alone the ability to overcome everything that you will encounter in life. There has to be the acknowledgement that you need help, right? That we as human beings need help. We cannot do it all by ourselves. We were not born on islands alone to be left alone without the help of anyone else. That's not a part of the plan. So I encourage you to go on your journey and to find what you need. For us, it is clear. We go to God.
That's right.
There is no question. But for those of you who are saying, I'm questioning, I'm not there, I'm saying keep questioning, keep searching, keep seeking, keep knocking, keep asking. You'll find what you need, but also do not allow pride to cause you to think that you can overcome all the things that you will encounter in life by yourself.
Can't do.
Yeah. Okay, now we're going to look at some plants and we're going to see what one of the things. So really quickly, I have been increasing my houseplant collection. And I'm so excited. I love, love, love my houseplants. And it is therapeutic. Aside from cleaning air, if you like dealing with houseplants, then it can lower blood pressure and have so many other physical health benefits to those who tend to houseplants. And for her, again, it was therapeutic in a way that allowed her to release some of the pain that she was in a creative way and in a nurturing way that grew other things. So if you have that same tendency or that same interest in houseplants, then you will probably really enjoy this. If you've been thinking about introducing houseplants into your home, then this is, she loves cacti. I'm not really into cacti, but she loves cacti. And you're going to see the beauty of her green thumb, which is not her green thumb. She just says she reads directions and follows. If you can read, then you can care for a plant. You know, a lot of people say, well, I don't have a green thumb. I asked one of my friends, one friend, I said, well, did you read the directions? Like, did you Google how to care for the plant? She said, no. I said, well, then it's not that you don't have a green thumb. You didn't love that plant enough to find out how to care for it. She was like, Rhea.
And each one is different.
Each one is different. Absolutely. Even though they come from the same family, there's, yes. Okay, so we're getting ready I'm gonna flip my camera. Okay, right here are a bunch of her succulents. And I don't know what this one is called right here, but if you look right here, come into view, you'll see a bloom. That little white thing is a bloom. Okay, it's blurry again, but it will look like that. You see that right there? It's gonna bloom like that. Then she has this other succulent right here. And then another one. Like I said, she loves cacti and succulents. In the summertime, she's got loads and loads of hens and chickens growing in pots and growing in cracks and so forth. Then down here, oh, I love this little sign. It says, a gardener is an artist who paints the world with flowers. And then there is another little cactus under there. Then over here, she's got more. Look at the beautiful green, the shiny green leaves on that, right? And then there's one back in the back that you can't see so much. She's got some little bitty babies in this pot that I'm sure will be going outside. And then look at this one with the frosty color on their leaves. And then right here, so is this in the aloe vera plant family or the snake plant family?
Snake plant.
I think you're blocking my light. There we go. Yeah, snake plant family. Okay, then there are some more cacti. And then here's a whole little, now I'm blocking my own light, mound of cacti. Look at all that. And then here's another one It's in the snake plant family. Okay, now what is this called? This is what is this one?
Flapjack.
A flapjack. You gave my mother this, yes?
Yeah.
Because she has one in the window. Look at this thing. Now, do you ever put this one outside or do you just keep it inside? Every summer you put it outside? Okay. Here's her
It
flapjack.
gets real big. I have to cut it down. I've cut a lot off of it
Uh-huh.
because in the wintertime, it just grows stringy. It don't grow right.
Okay.
It needs sunshine.
Okay. So you ready?
And make other plants.
Got you. Oh, let me show this picture. Here's a picture.
Of my yard.
Yeah. Oh, wait, the lights are in the way. Oh, well, I'll have to post pictures of the yard because the lights are in the way. Oh, that's okay, good. Well, here's one right here. That's up right directly from her patio. And this is her and my uncle and her and her and Mr. Walton. Here's a pencil. This is a pencil cactus, right? Behind this chair.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It turned red in the sun.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. And then here are some more. Oh my God. Oh. Wait a minute. What happened to that? You had a really big plant here.
I move them around.
Was it a Diffenbach that you had here?
It's yes. See it.
Okay. Here's another pencil cactus.
In the summertime,
That's really full. Okay. And here's another on her coffee table. This is another flapjack. Okay. And here are some more pictures. Who did that for you?
Male.
Okay. Yes, our cousin.
That's a picture of my yard.
Yeah.
Summer.
Oh, she has things in bloom all over the place. It is absolutely gorgeous. Did you do this arrangement right here?
Mom, who are you talking to on the camera?
This is real.
I'm recording it for Facebook Live. Well, to put on Facebook.
Is it good for people to know where you live and how you live? And
They don't know.
Oh, they don't know where she lives.
No.
This
Yeah.
what you look like?
It's about flowers.
You put stuff on Facebook, you can't take it off.
It ain't nothing to put on there but the flowers.
Are you listening?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. So,
Oh, here's the Diffenbach. Oh my goodness. Okay, you step right over there. Step right over there. Okay, here we go. Look at this. This is gorgeous. It is huge. Absolutely huge. Here's a peace lily. And then are both of those flapjacks over there?
No, those mothers with 1,000 babies.
Oh my goodness. Look how big they are.
Take a picture of this one.
This one right here?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's a mother with 1,000 babies.
Wow, I didn't realize it got that big. Wow, 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 wow. And then the Diffenbach.
You got it?
Uh-huh. This is the one that you had in the living room. I'm like, where did it go?
Yeah.
And you'll put this outside too this summer?
No.
No? Okay, I'll stay it there.
Outside plant.
Okay.
I'll show you outside plants.
Okay. And we're gonna go. So I'm just covering the screen, guys, as we move through to get to the rest of the plants so that you can see the beauty and the joy that plants bring to someone who loves dealing with plants. Now, all these plants, go ahead. All these plants, okay, these are the plants that go in her yard in the summer. And most of them are cacti, various versions of cactus plants. And she has them all around. This, I think, is a ponytail cactus, maybe. That might be a ponytail cactus, I'm not sure. And then you see this big, bumpy light cactus, and then this one that has reddish hues on it. I think, is this the Christmas cactus right here?
It's in the family.
In
And
the
it
family.
blooms in the summertime.
Okay, is this the one that has the big, beautiful red blooms?
Yes.
I remember that one. I have a picture of the inside of one of those blooms. If I can find it, I'll post it to my Facebook page so that everybody can see it. But all of these go in her front yard and in her backyard. Look how tall that one is. In her front yard and in her backyard. And I said, I would be afraid to move these pots because of, let me see, can you see the, yeah, you can see the needles on this one, right? I'd be afraid to move it. But, oh my, is this I don't remember seeing this one.
Yeah,
Let me
it's
see.
out in the backyard.
Really?
Mhm.
Let's see, the lighting isn't good. It is, do you know what it is?
It's kind of like in the cactus family,
This one is?
but I don't know the name of it.
I'm trying to see.
But when I got it, it was just a little thing.
Really?
So I put it out there every summer. And the bigger the pot, the bigger it gets.
Okay. I don't know. I know you guys can't see it that well, but it is huge. This and the leaves are so thick and strong. Let me see if I can come back and maybe you can see it a little bit better.
But all these in the back there,
There you
that
go.
was one cactus, so I separated it because it got root bound.
Oh, all of these right here, this whole row?
Yeah,
Okay, so these all came from the same mother,
same pot.
the same pot, and she separated it. Okay. And they're all, look, they're so huge. And then over here on the table, there are more succulents. That one's pretty with the variegated leaves. And
That's a fig tree. The stick.
this right here,
No, right here. Yeah. Right there. Here.
this thing?
That's a fig tree.
Oh, with no branches on it? She's talking about this right here.
I take it outside in the
This.
spring and it bears figs.
Okay. Look at the purple on here. This is beautiful. What is this? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay, this looks weird. I don't know what that's, and this is like one that she has in the house. And there's a snake plant over there. Another, is that a ponytail cactus that I'm looking at? Okay. Then more succulents. Wonderful. Well, we hope that you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna come down here where she is. We hope that you guys enjoyed the talk and then the tour of plants. And I will see you guys at the next Live at 5. Bye-bye. Is it all? Not yet. Now